Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to, of course, a brand new episode of Blitzvillage. As always, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to leave a like. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize that there was no episode yesterday. There was a huge thunderstorm all day long in Toronto and basically the surrounding areas. So, for the times when I could record, when there was no power outage, it would sound like this. It would be like we're playing Five Nights at Freddy's. It would be like Blitzvillage crossed with Five Nights at Freddy's, because it would be like, hello, hey guys. You just hear like crackle and pop in the background from the thunder. So nonetheless, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blitzvillage. Of course, as always, we kick things off with showcasing you lovely folks. So of course, if you want to be showcased on next week's episode of Blitzvillage, which will be, of course, next Sunday, so we'll go back to a regular schedule there. And of course, if you want to be featured, please don't forget to tweet your submissions at me over on Twitter, twitter.com/Blitzwinger. Looking forward to seeing those lovely entries. Now, for today, we have some really spectacular entries. The first one comes to us from Max Mouthin. I apologize if I mispronounce your names in advance. And he or she, or I'm assuming he, because of Max, but then again, who knows? Sent in an amazing Blitzbot, super duper well done. That is spectacular, like super duper impressive, amazing. Thank you so very much for spending the time on doing that, and thank you for spending the time on doing the Blitzbot. That's really cool. We then move on to Matthew Murphy, who sends in a Spidey statue. Very cool, nicely done. Again, I love the just the varied designs and concepts, like even with something like Spider-Man, you know, where you would think like, oh, well, generally it'll look pretty similar. Nope. People still get creative and make them as different as possible based on their own creative design and kind of their own creativity. So that's awesome. Thank you, Matthew. And then last but certainly not least, for today's entry, we have the Gaming Tiger, who sent in a Pikachu statue. So I think that might be the very first Pokemon statue that I have ever featured on the new season of course, Blitzvillage. We do have our nice Charizard right there, which looks sweet. But thank you for that submission. Again, keep your awesome submissions coming. I am looking forward to seeing plenty more from you guys. So, the lovely thing that has happened in between episodes is that I went ahead and actually crafted the next 2 floors that we are going to be building. Now, I know that a lot of you guys are going to be asking, are we going to be doing the helipad? Absolutely. That's going to be this next layer. So, next week we're going to work on extending this outwards and having this big ginormous helipad type thing. So, that should be pretty fun. But this week we're actually going to be working on the 2 final rooms. So room number 1 is Thor's room right here, which is going to be the final floor, and you'll see why it's extended and has a different pattern. I just wanted to make a different pattern before the helipad, and then it's extended because a lot of you guys brought up an incredible idea of putting a nether portal, which would allow us to travel Thor into Asgard, like pretend that that's what he utilizes to travel from Asgard to Earth. And I was like, that's a brilliant idea, an amazing idea. So thank you so very much for all of you lovely folks who put that in the comment section last week. So keep those suggestions coming, guys. And then of course, the other room that we need to assemble is Hawkeye's room. That's the only other room that we have yet to assemble. So let's get to work. We're going to begin with Hawkeye's room. I used the potion of swiftness, by the way, to place blocks quicker. So thank you for whoever shared that tip with me. I appreciate that a ton. So thank you very much for that. We're not going to use it now because we don't need to be placing much blocks anymore. But obviously it's something that is pretty handy, and I would totally recommend to use it. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a pretty simple bedroom, because when I think of Hawkeye, I don't think he would hang out here very much, especially since so far we've kind of stuck to the Hawkeye that we've seen in the Avengers films. And I feel like, you know, he's got a family, so he'd most likely spend time with his family. He would just probably try to hang out as little as possible here. So I think we're going to try to keep this pretty simple. We're going to stick to the purple motif, kind of giving the Avengers their own colors that you would typically see. And essentially, all we're going to do is we're going to have a firing range and a bed, because that's pretty much all I see Hawkeye having around the entire area. So what we will do is, let's see, is there purple wool? Yes, there is. Awesome. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to just lay out these bricks right here. And then we are going to put a bunch of item frames. Then I need some chests, not trap chests, regular chests. And I also put torches, by the way, all around. So we'll put a couple of chests. Whoops. There we are. Now we need some combat tools. So we will grab 2 bows and then a whole bunch of arrows. And we will put the bows like so. this is going to be the bow chest. Then we have our arrows, which are going to go right there. And then we're just going to fill this up. Because obviously he would target practice, so that makes sense. And we're just going to fill all this up. There we are. Excelente. And I guess the last 10 arrows could just go in here. Why not? Right? Bam, bam, bam. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now we need to have actual target practice for him. So I think what we will do is we will put out little targets like this. There we go. And essentially, that's going to be pretty much all that there is in his room. Is he will walk up to here, and then we need to have, I guess we could use paintings again, like we've done before, because then if you hit them, they'll pop off. So it's kind of more of a mini game in that way and in that regard. So I think that would work better. So we're just gonna go ahead and put up some paintings on each one of these. Whoops. There we are. So he obviously just needs to hit the target, and if he is successful, he'll be happy with his training for that day. All right, so I know that it's super simplistic, but again, I just don't see Hawkeye being the kind of person that would spend much time at the base anyway. Like, he would literally just spend time to sleep over and train, and that's it. Like, I really don't see him spending any time unless if he absolutely has to. So, with that in mind, we are now moving on to Thor's room. So, for Thor, of course, as we said before, we're going to have the hammer floor, and we're also going to have the portal, the nether portal. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab some obsidian. And then I believe, is it in the combat? Nope, it's in the tools. We need to, of course, the flint and steel. We need to, of course, the flint and steel. That made no sense. We need the flint and steel. You know what? Actually, before we build the portal, I think it might be best for us to actually assemble the hammer itself first. And then, let's see, maybe a brown handle type thing. So let's see. Essentially, this is going to be the build. It's going to be very important as to how it looks from up above, so I'm going to have to fly up right now just to take a look. So then we will sculpt Mjolnir itself. And let's see. There we are. So I think, I don't know if this is going to be too long or not. I guess we'll see in a moment. All right, let's see. How many blocks are there apart from the wall? 4. Okay. So I am already one too close. Like that. And like that. Is that even? That does not look even. 4 blocks from this one. 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks. Okay. So we need to break that apart further. I thought it was... There we go. Alright. So there's our hammer. Mjolnir. We're going to fill that up. I'm super happy that we are literally done now with all of the floors. That's pretty crazy. Like, we're going to work on the helipad and the little hangout area over the next 2 episodes, and we're done with Avengers Tower, which is kind of crazy. Like, I'm like, wow, we've done a lot of handiwork around this thing. All right, so now we have a really good spot for our portal, which would be right here, or at least that's where I'd love to have it. So let's see. How do we put it? Like that? It's not going to be centered, which... sort of stinks. Maybe I should put it on both sides or something like that. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Okay, just a sec. Let's see. So we're going to need to have a bed. So let's say we put his bed right here, and then next to the bed, just for silly decorations because he uses a hammer, his little nightlight or his little decorations around his bed is actually going to be just a whole bunch of anvils, because why not? And then for tools, we are going to use an item frame, and I guess we can give him an axe because unfortunately we don't have a hammer. You need like mods for that. So, but to be fair, he has used axes before as one of his weapons, like in the comics, not in the films or anything, but in the comics he has used an axe. It's kind of like, it doesn't look like this. It's more like a battle axe, but he's used them before, so it kind of works. So I think what we could do is maybe have... I don't even know how I want to do this. Actually, I know what we can do. Okay, so let's say we put the portal... I kind of wanted to have the portal right here, but I feel like it's not going to be centered. If we place it right here, it's going to be kind of like crooked and off. I guess what we could do is maybe make the handle thicker and then That way it would look more... It's still going to be off because it's 3 blocks, right? Oh, man. Okay, I guess what? You know what? We could make it 4 blocks high, right? 3 high. Like that. And then it's centered, right? Okay, sweet. So let's see. I just need... How many blocks apart is that? That's 2. That's 3. Oh, no. Okay, so it's got to be... Is it 2 wide or is it 3 wide? I think it's 3 wide, isn't it? Okay, let me just first check if I even remember how to do this properly. There we go. All right, so I do know how to do this properly, luckily. So we do need to have it 4 wide. Unfortunately, I think that that might not work out because how many blocks is this? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, wait. Does this work? 3, 3. That is centered, ladies and gentlemen. That is about as centered as it was going to be. Wait, it's 3 blocks thick, so we got this. There we go. 3 blocks high. Wha-bam. We did it. Let's see. Wha-bam. There is our portal. And it does look pretty magnificent, I have to say. 3 blocks there. Why is it 4 blocks there? Can I... Oh, no, that doesn't work, does it? Because the... Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it does work. Okay, perfect. I didn't even know that you could just make whatever size you want. That's awesome. That is good news for me. I'm sure a lot of you guys were like pulling your hairs at this point. Look at this. There's a cloud going through the building, which is very appropriate because it's kind of mystical for Thor's level, so makes sense. All right, so then we need to have Thor's little item display. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick with the obsidian, pretend that this is an element that comes from Asgard, and we're just going to have his like tools onto here. So there we are. There's 1 axe. That's going to be our second one. This is going to be our 3rd one, and this is going to be our 4th one. So we're going to put a diamond one right there. There. Look at that. It's like playing tic-tac-toe. So there's all the items that he would utilize at all times, which is pretty cool. I think that does look quite nice and dandy. We have his bed right there with some anvils as decorations, and I think that's a pretty solid little area for Mr. Thor. And look at that. There's thunder and lightning coming down. How appropriate with the god of thunder. So, there you guys have it, of course. This concludes our showcase for today. We did our showcase for Mr. Hawkeye's room, Mr. Thor's room. Hulk's room is looking pretty incredible still. And by the way, some people pointed out in the comments that I didn't put any slime in the room, but I did, didn't I? These are slime blocks, so I was a little bit confused by that. I wasn't too sure why people said that, but yeah, it's there. Maybe I just didn't show it or something like that, something crazy like that. So nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Of course, next week, next Sunday, we will indeed assemble the helipad, and then the week after that, we'll assemble the little top of the actual Avengers Tower, and we are done. It is quite unbelievable to say that, but we are almost finished with this crazy lengthy build. With that in mind, ladies and gents, of course, as always, if you guys enjoyed today's episode of Blitzvillage, please don't forget to smack that like button. I'll see you guys next time. I wanted to say next time and and like the video, and I guess I combined the two. As always, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. I got frazzled. Today's thunderstorms really freaked me out. Bye, guys.